Hail and well met. Welcome to episode 1 of Greymantle Season 3. I am Eric Scott DeVee, the DM of this campaign, and I'm really looking forward to this. The girls are back from Dayside, where shenanigans happened, to Nightside, where nothing shenanigan related happens ever. I promise.
Never.
Anyway, take it away, Allie.
Hi, everybody. I am Alexander Pitchford. I am a writer, game designer, and TTRPG streamer. You can generally find me on Twitter at LexiPhoenix, and I am, as ever, playing the Silver Sparrow, who is so much fun. She is the best, and really, I'm looking forward to jumping back in. But I also need to tell you about one of our
Sponsors?
sponsors. Yes. I'm doing this properly, I assure you.
Indeed, properly.
All right, but one of our sponsors is Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, which is a strategy game that unites iconic D&D characters from novels, campaigns, and popular shows into one epic adventure, including Farida, Havilar, and Mehen from the Brimstone Angels novels by Dungeon Scrawlers' own Aaron M. Evans. The game is available for PC and Mac on Steam and Web, Epic Game Store, Google Play, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, iPad, iPhone, and on all Android devices. For more information, check out idlechampions.com. And be sure to check them out soon, because I'm sure there's some kind of event going on. There usually is, and that means special characters, special everything. So, check it out.
Definitely. Jen.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Braithwaite. I run Savage Sparrow Studios, savagesparrow.com. It is an awesome website for nerdy clothing and apparel. Please check it out. I tonight am playing Oriana Devereaux, the reluctant mob princess and angsty warlock who is trying to herd the cats. Some success sometimes, question mark, I don't know, lots of chaos and exciting adventures. Yeah.
And Jen may or may not have a Kickstarter going on at this point in time. So if there is indeed a Savage Sparrows Kickstarter going on, the link will be below in the doobly-doo.
Yes, thank you.
You are welcome. Lex?
At the very least, we should have the preview page up.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you see, here's the thing. We're recording this now. We have no idea when this is going to play. This could be months down the road.
Exactly.
One of us could be, head of Wizards of the Coast by then. Who knows? Anyway, but okay, that's not going to happen.
I mean,
but
heck, I might even have a Kickstarter going by then. So we'll see.
Right.
There might be more information. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So check out the doobly-doo, and it will also give you that code for that Idle Champions. That will probably still function if you didn't use it on the previous week. Whenever this happens. Lex, tell us about Sounder.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Lex. I'm playing Sounder, who is a shifter gutter mage. Gutter mage is a homebrew class made by my friend Insanity Gaming. And Zan has put together a really fun class to play because it lets me mix my favorite parts of rogue and wizard into one awful grubby package. Yeah. If I'm doing anything, it's probably over on Polished Cryptid's channel, so just give that a look. Watch the VODs. I ran a Dragon Age campaign that might or might not still be going, so just look at the VODs.
Link below.
Yep.
Amanda.
Hello, I'm Amanda Cherry. In my regular daily life, I write books about magical ladies who are not very nice. I write several of them with Eric Scott to be our illustrious DM. Depending on when this is airing, we either are about to have a book come out or we just had a book come out, November 21st. If that is in the rearview mirror or coming soon, we will have our sequel coming out. Again, link below. And I have another book due out February of 2024, also from Defcon 1 Publishing. I will talk about that more another day. Tonight, I am playing Anji, the thirsty bard who is mostly for decoration. She is bright pink. She is a tiefling. She likes to bang on things and generally be applauded by the throngs of adoring fans. She's having rather a bad day right now. So, as I think we sort of all are. So, she very
I
much
don't know
wants
about
to.
you. I'm having a great day.
Of course you are.
She very much wants to crawl under a warm blanket in her sugar mommy's lap and take a good long sleep. But there are things stopping her from that right now. So.
And speaking of those things, we left off with the crew narrowly escaping from Dayside and from the zombies that were chasing them, and the eldritch horrors that were appearing out of seemingly nowhere.
The horrors were many.
Yes,
So many
and they have come into the presence of a number of representatives of the trade guild that ferrets goods to and from the different halves of the city by means of these mine carts. You also destroyed much of the track for the mine carts, if you recall from last time, in your haste to escape Dayside.
That's true.
You did convince the traders that you were not a threat of any kind and that none of you were zombies, which is, I mean, those are both important things. They did seem hesitant to let you use the lift back up to the street. And I think we left it off pretty much there. So, yeah, the traders look between each other a little bit suspiciously, and then look back over to Anji, who they've determined to be the spokesperson. And well, I mean, just because Anji went full glamour, hopped out of the minecart, you know, diamond in the rough, in distress, needs help, and they're like, "Oh yes," because of the high 20s charisma check.
That one button right here just
Yeah.
happened to go like spring.
Yeah.
It's a charisma related button. Every time there's a charisma check, it knows to pop.
It's my charisma button.
Yeah,
Right.
We're gonna call it that
pops
from now on.
artfully. That's the important thing.
So the traders are, you know, giving her and the rest of you as well tea and some snacks, and you're able to rest there briefly if you want to.
Yeah, I think a short rest would be in order.
Right?
Okay.
I'm just gonna click that button on my character sheet right now.
Yeah, I'm doing that too.
Boom. Well done.
We use D&D Beyond, so you can click the short rest button, and it will give you an option to spend hit dice to heal yourself as well, if you have hit dice remaining, which all of you should have at least one, because everybody went up to 5th level. So, all right. While you're resting, one of the traders comes over to talk to Anji and says, well, I'm not sure we should let you out just now. There's a, well, there's a quarantine in effect. Folk aren't supposed to be wandering out on the streets.
Quarantine of what sort precisely?
Well, apparently something terrible happened in Dayside, and now folk are just concerned that it might have spilled over here into Nightside as well. You saw the zombies, right? He points to the 2 zombie corpses in one of the minecarts, which are still crackling from being burned. He says, none of you were scratched or bitten, right?
No, nothing like that. No.
A couple of you were very, very hurt. And
just a little bit.
yeah, Anji, why don't you go ahead and make a deception check, please?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So let's see if this is gonna work. Hold on.
Deception is one of her expertises,
Mhm.
so I guess we'll see.
Yes. That was not helpful. That was a 1. That was a 1. I do have plus 11 to deception,
Okay.
but that was still not good.
Well, 1 on a skill check is not an automatic failure, whatever Baldur's Gate 3 tells you. And in this case, you are successful at convincing him not to look too deeply into your wounds and whatnot. He seems to take your word for it that you weren't hurt by any zombies. He says, "Oh,
Okay,
that's good. That's good."
I also, amazingly, when we upgraded our characters, I've got a new shiny piece of magic I would like to try out on this fellow.
Okay.
Or I would like to make him my fast friend.
Oh, good.
So he has to make a wisdom saving throw at 16.
Okay.
He wants to.
Let's give that a go. Well, the good news is his wisdom is not very good, and so he did not succeed. And you basically sort of, it's like a charm except more subtle, more sophisticated, this magic. So he's definitely charmed by you and is happy to do whatever you ask him to do.
Well, then obviously I'm going to ask him to let us take the rest of our tea and cakes to go, and so we can scurry back to our safe domiciles and no longer be in their way. They can continue to transact commerce while we go to our safety.
Okay. Yeah, he nods. He says, "Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I'll definitely do that." And after your rest is completed, he ushers you. Well, he only really cares about helping Anji, but the rest of you can come along as well. To the lift,
Okay.
where there's a trader standing there, and they speak briefly. The trader looks over at Anji, kind of raises one eyebrow, and says, "All right, well, if you say so."
Oh, and I do.
And he was talking to your charmed friend, but your charmed friend is like, "Yes, she does. Yes, she's right. She's
The
safe.
charisma
Don't
button
worry."
says so.
Yeah, they're very safe. Don't worry. I'll take full responsibility. And the guy says, "Well, it's not my funeral. I'm not paying for those caskets." And opens the gate so that you can load onto the lift as you like.
All right. I think as they're getting onto the lift, Sparrow just kind of crosses her arms and goes, "I could have handled that."
You could have. She didn't need to.
Okay. They secure the gate back into place. And I'll remind you that you have Eve with you, who is a small, somewhat odd girl of about 10, maybe, years of age. And you also have Tarrant with you. Tarrant is a professional burglar who helped you in Dayside and harmed your efforts in a couple of ways as well. He's yeah.
our kind of scum.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like the perfect frenemy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Many meaningful glares given.
Every party needs a trash man. This one is ours.
Look, this one is ours. We don't want him dead yet.
Yeah.
Despite his best efforts.
We need somebody to be like where the bar is, so that way we can be above the bar.
There you go.
After all these thoughts go through your heads, he looks around, sees your expressions, and he's like, "Don't worry, I'm looking forward to getting away from you as well."
Good.
It's been a long few days, and I could use a
Indeed.
long sleep. All right, the lift rises, clattering and cranking up toward the surface. It shudders a bit, but it seems like you're not exceeding the weight capacity. This lift is obviously meant for freight, and you're just a bunch of people.
Question, GM. Audrey, the gem is currently red, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So as you're rising up, Ori looks at the dagger, which has somehow conspired to put itself in your hand. Like it's not unsheathed. It's still sheathed at your belt, but you're like touching it, holding it.
Yeah.
And it has this gemstone at the pommel, which is bright red, as though with blood.
It wasn't that way earlier.
And she's just kind of like it's one of those things where like she's been kind of quiet, and then will basically just like periodically like look down and seem surprised that her hand is on the dagger, and then just kind of go back to being quiet and vaguely broody.
Are you all right, Ori? You keep fondling that thing.
I don't know.
It's only the slightest bit phallic.
The last thing I remember is all of those things on me. What happened?
We pulled them off of you. I pulled them off of you.
And got me to a cleric, or?
Nothing quite so specific. Well,
I just... I feel this, like... I don't know. It's like this hunger, and I don't... I keep trying to ignore it, but, like, it's just in the back of my head. I feel so much more aware of... What did you do? What new thing has happened?
Is she looking at Sparrow? She
Yes.
says that?
Yes. You are the one who admitted that you saved her.
I think we're all looking at Sparrow at this point, like, yeah. Spill the tea.
Durant is actually looking everywhere except at Sparrow. He's like, I don't want to be part of this at all. He's looking at the wall. That's an amazing wall.
I want to
have
preface
to agree
this.
with you, Durant. That's an amazing wall.
I want to preface this by saying you were dying.
Uh-huh.
I had while we were fighting those things, I lost my dagger, and I was disarmed, and I might have taken the dagger from you and used it a fair bit, but then when any port in a storm, right? But when I saw that you were injured and potentially dying, I might have
Just spit it out already.
I realized that it seemed to be taking the life force from the zombies that I was stabbing with it. And so I might have put it in your hand and then stabbed myself. And she'll
You might want to get that looked at. You probably picked up some tetanus or something.
And she'll hold up her hand, and there's actually still a wound in her palm. She drove that thing right through her hand. I mean, it probably would have been more poetic to stab myself in the gut, but, I didn't want to bleed out.
Durant leans over to Sounder.
You just stab your whole
Cut the
hand?
palm. Cut the palm. Rookie mistake. You always cut the thumb. Anyway.
The
If you
thigh
have
is
to
better.
cut your hand.
So at this point, she's
Thumb
gonna
on the upper thigh is much more reliable.
Ooh.
she's gonna pull the dagger out to get a better look at it. What? Can I do an Arcana check or something like that?
Yes, you can.
Because this time I actually, because I did get a skill level up, so I put a point in Arcana.
Nice.
Okay.
sec.
It looks like you got a. Oh, okay.
22.
Hey, awesome.
Did that work?
Yes, it did.
Okay, cool.
All
'Cause
right.
the first time
so,
it just gave me a 5, and I'm like, I can't roll a 0.
Okay, so you're looking at the dagger, and sure enough, you can tell that there are faint runes inscribed upon the dagger, which are infernal runes and have to do with life force manipulation.
Mm.
And with that outstanding result, you are pretty sure that this is either exactly or very similar to a sort of dagger you have heard of that was used among the adherents of Hellfire centuries ago
Oh.
to drain life essence from those that they struck with them and enhance their own power.
Okay.
And it's typically used as a sacrificial dagger, not
Okay.
as a combat weapon,
Okay.
but it's very effective as a combat weapon.
So she's just like.
And it is attuned to you. And you also know that if you do not feed it, which is to say, you do not damage a living creature with it in a given day, it will take its sustenance from its attuned wielder.
Which would be why it didn't attune to me. I was stabbing zombies, not living people.
Correct. The way you attune it is by stabbing a living creature.
Okay.
Until you attune it in such a way, it just seems like a dagger that is enhanced magically to do additional harm when properly utilized. I am mechanically describing a vicious enchantment, so it does extra damage on a critical hit.
So basically, she's studying this and, like looking at it very carefully, and then kind of just has that moment where her eyes widen as she recognizes the infernal sigils and is like, another tie to Hellfire.
I'm being nosy and reading over her shoulder also. So, just FYI, I'm looking at all that too.
Yeah, those sigils were not apparent until the dagger fed on blood,
Yeah.
because then the sigils started
course.
turning red, so you could see them.
Of course.
It's
I should clarify also that you do not need to land a critical hit on a living creature in order to feed the dagger. You just have to damage a living creature.
okay, cool. I am basically going to be bound to feed it something, the blood of something living, or it feeds on me.
Curse dagger. Final ed project.
What was that?
Yeah, you kind of broke up there a little bit, Lex.
Oh. Am I back?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So she's pretty much was like, ugh, fine. I guess I gotta add that to my side project. Cursed dagger. Great.
How was I supposed to know it was cursed when I used it?
You weren't. That's the point of a cursed dagger.
We do know now.
Look, just don't do anything reckless with it. I'll see what I can turn up.
Tarant asks, do any of you spellcasters know how to remove curses?
I'm doing a particular technique. I'll figure it out.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I tend to cast
I mean,
them.
not that it's any business of mine. I intend never to see any of you ever again.
Yeah.
So-
when he
We're
says
not that
any of you,
lucky.
when he says any of you spellcasters, Sparrow will just kind of look at the other three as if she is not included in this.
Oriana just squints in her general direction with the biggest
denial.
side eye.
What?
Yes.
Awkward. Anyway, the clanking, clattering lift finally reaches the surface. So it comes up into this little like barn-shaped building. It looks the best analogy I can draw to the modern world is that it looks like the surface of a subway station, right? Where you would go down the stairs to actually get on. And it opens up, and it's like the doors of a shed opening up. And you see that the streets of Nightside are just deserted. There's nobody out in the streets. It's dark and cool and relaxing, once again. Like you feel you're more used to this kind of weather and the air being like this. But there's also this keen sense of emptiness. You just see nobody around. Streets are covered in trash, and you hear a yowling cat somewhere.
Oh. Normally it'd be bustling at this time of night.
Maybe let's keep quiet.
They did mention a enforced quarantine. Oh.
My
Perhaps
question is,
people are obeying the law for once.
law on
Mhm.
Nightside? Who's even enforcing the quarantine?
Individual fear, perhaps. I don't know.
So you hear booted footsteps up the road to the
Or perhaps
north
it's
of where
that
you
fellow.
are.
Suppose we should get out of sight.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Do
so-
we know if
Tarrant has already disappeared.
Of course he has.
Of course.
do we know DM if those posters have made it over here or not?
You do not.
Okay.
You do see pillars covered with handbills and such kind of posters and such, but you don't see any of your own face.
Okay.
No bounties on your heads as far as you know.
I'm gonna use disguise self. If I can just do that, just to be safe. I'll look like since we're in Nightside, I'll probably look like some other Hellfire person.
Okay. An enforcer or a leader?
I think like generic goon.
Okay.
I think
That's very
yeah.
That's very timely. If you glance up the street, you can see a squad of Hellfire goons marching this way. There are 4 of them, and they are holding glaives.
Oh.
I
Then we
think
appear to be invisible.
I think for Sparrow's part, she will put her hood up, the hood of her coat, and then I think at this point, oh, to hell with it. She will pass her hand over her hooded features and disguise self as well.
The Hellfire goon makes a smug look in Sparrow's direction.
Another vaguely generic Hellfire goon will look over at.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself and anyone else who cares to be invisible right now.
Sounder had been
Yes.
pulling her hood up and trying to quietly step back and, finagle child who is still sleeping, I presume.
Eve is just kind of tagging along sleepily with you.
I can make child invisible if that helps.
Like appearance wise, I think Sparrow probably looks like a generic human in Hellfire colors,
Okay.
and she will look back over at Ori and just be like, fine.
So, if you want to use your invisibility spell to apply to 2 people, it will require you to cast it at 1 level higher. So,
Yeah, I have
3rd level
cast
spell
it.
slot.
I've cast it at 3rd level.
Okay. Cool.
Already did the paperwork.
All right, excellent. I just making sure, and also, I feel these streams are sometimes educational for people who are watching.
Yeah.
So there we go. All
One
right.
of the nice things about D&D Beyond is it explains that to me, and it makes sure that all of the math is done without me actually having to do it, which is
Awesome. Okay, and Sounder, you're just kind of like keeping a low profile.
Trying to.
Okay.
I don't know how well that works when covered in blood, gore, and other such ichor and things.
All right, so the patrol people get to you. Sure enough, yeah, they're mostly human, kind of a motley collection. One has clear orc heritage, is larger and stronger than the others. That one steps toward you and says, "Ugh." Looks at the two Hellfire Enforcer-looking people and the one person kind of lingering behind them. Report.
The area over here seems clear. How about you?
All right, make a deception check, please.
Okay.
I'm going to give you advantage because you look exactly like what he wants you to look like.
I got a 15.
Okay, 15 is
Yeah.
going to do it, but
Oh, okay.
you can roll again to see if
And
you
a
get helped out.
22.
Okay. 22, yeah, you do get an extra result. I believe in graduated successes. So if you hit like the basic success, you're going to get what you want. If you get higher, then something better is going to happen. The guy says, well, we've found a few people defying the Archon's curfew, but they went back in their houses without too much insistence. Have you heard the rumors that the curfew is going to be lifted? Apparently, maybe it's all just a big drill.
Yeah. No, and I'll give the name of like some.
Actually, is a totally reasonable conversation dialogue for these guys. I completely understand.
I'm giving the name of one of the enforcer bosses that's kind of lazy. Like, because like I assume Oriana knows,
Sure.
who the regular people are, given where she is.
Would you like to name this character, or should I?
You should do it because I suck at naming things, and
Okay.
if I name him something, it'll be, last sleepy or something lame.
All right. Varigos.
Yeah.
Hellfire Lieutenant.
Okay. Varigos kind of doesn't do the best briefings.
You're attached to that sluggard, are you?
Yeah, and he really seemed. He came in this, today, smelling like a brewery. So, if you could like give us, what's been going on the last few days. That guy, because again, if we screw up, then we get all the beatings on us, and we're really tired. My back still stings.
Sure. He is totally not paying any attention to Sounder. Just kind of assumes Sounder is another member of the group. And of course, Sparrow also looks like another one of the enforcers.
And Ori will also go as far as to just sort of shift so that way, she's standing enough in front of his sightline to Sounder, so it doesn't look too suspicious.
Yep. Okay. He says, message came from Dayside, speaking of a cataclysm, an apocalypse of some kind.
Again?
And the Archon issued a surprising order to lock down the streets while such things could be investigated. But we haven't found any sign of any sort of sickness or evil or whatever it was supposed to be. You seen anything? We're supposed to report at midnight.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet so far.
That's good. Yeah. The curfew will probably be lifted then. That's good.
Yeah, let's hope so. I got, I wanna find out where he's been doing all that drinking, because that sounds like a great way to end a shift.
Yeah, I got some good drinking to do.
Ah,
great.
yeah.
I was
All
thinking
right,
about
well.
hitting the night song after this.
Yeah. All right. Thanks
He
a
looks
lot.
he looks over at Sparrow. Okay. And then he looks back at Ori and he says, "Carry on, Centurion." And then
Yeah.
they march away.
Back at you, brother.
I think Sparrow will wait for him to get far enough away that they're out of earshot, and she'll just go, rude.
Like, Ori gives the look of like, what did you expect?
Well, you were doing all the talking. I wanted to interject, I suppose. I couldn't think of anything good.
Yeah, as they head off, one of them's like, and the night song, and soft and squishy. Anyway.
This is not a participation contest. Like, you don't get points for participating in deceiving others. No one's going to give you a report telling you what a good job you are that you contributed a little quip.
You hear a disembodied voice, which is Eve, and Sounder, like something tugs on your coat, and it's Eve, and she says, "Are they fighting?"
They do that a
No,
lot. They
no.
like to argue.
No one was trying to make it a contest.
You were apparently.
It's just, it's something they do. I think it's their, like, bonding thing. I don't know.
Oh. She
as soon
said
as
very thoughtfully.
As soon as the enforcers are like way out of sight, we will be visible again.
Okay.
Normally, I'm the one that does a lot of the face work.
Yeah. And,
Not accustomed to not.
And when it comes to things involving the Hellfire organization, you know, the one that I was born into, and you know, all of that stuff, I tend to know a bit of the ins and outs and details. So, you know, it really helps to have somebody like that take the lead, so you don't give obvious details that are a bit out of character for what these people would do. You know, it's kind of interesting too, kind of like how I was born taught from birth to be a warlock, and I know all about warlock contracts and all those things too.
Gee, I wonder why you'd bring that up.
Indeed.
Just stay.
Look,
If you have something to say it, dear.
Oh yes, please. Right here on the street in front of all of us. In the midst of a curfew we're violating.
She said a lot of things, Eve says. I didn't understand them.
don't worry about it, sweetie. It's
Okay.
So,
grown-up stuff.
Don't get attached.
all right.
Too late.
You are right. We should get off the streets, but where? Because it also sounds like maybe that awful whatever that was followed us.
My question is Hellfire spreading itself thin, trying to lock down the entire city on this side? Certainly
it
they're
sounds to me like they might be looking for what fell off the train.
just surprised. The Shadow Knives normally wouldn't even let them mess with anything in their territory.
The Shadow Knives perhaps also terrified of what would be coming.
I don't like it.
Delegate security to Hellfire, so if someone dies, it's them and not us.
Yes, but it gives Hellfire more power, and I feel like the leadership of the Shadow Knives, as misguided as they can often be, certainly wouldn't do that.
I mean, more power for a moment until they're all dead. And then they've no power at all.
So let me intercede real fast. I'm going to assume you're having this conversation as you're headed
Yes,
somewhere.
yes.
Yeah.
Just want to
Okay.
know
Yeah.
where you're headed. Are you headed back to your hideout?
Back to our hideout, I think, would be the best bet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So their hideout is in the upper floor near the bell of the cathedral to the Queen of the Hells, the center of Hellfire's power. Well, the center of Hellfire's religious power in Nightside.
You said what you said.
Yeah. So,
This building is nicknamed the Devil's Choir.
yes, and we've set up shop in the upper portion that nobody goes into.
It used to be Tarrant's hideout, and then you crashed it, and now it's your hideout.
We
Yeah.
appropriated it.
Yes,
he wasn't using it.
if he
Liberated.
wanted to keep
wasn't
it,
using it.
Yeah, exactly.
Time
You
is
made it
empty.
better. He should
He
be
wasn't
thanking
there at the
At
time.
the time.
And then he came back and he was like, "What are all these women doing here? Oh shit!"
We live
And then
here now.
Yeah.
now,
Sure
yeah, now he's got some other hideout. I'm sure he's fine. So
It's his fault. He deserves it.
yes,
It's fine.
I think provided we don't hit any other snags on the way, once we reach the hideout and get inside, Sparrow will drop the disguise. So like the appearance that she had kind of like evaporates off of her, you know, in like little shadowy black wisps, and she's herself again. There.
Anji is immediately changing clothes and getting into the bottle of rum she keeps stashed and her stuff. Like, your girl needs a clean outfit and a drink.
I am going to assume that you went in the subtle way rather than through the cathedral itself.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
We
No,
would
we're
have
not walking through the cathedral.
No,
we would have
some
routes
of
to
us
get
would
inside.
literally burst into flames if we walked into the cathedral the normal way.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, as soon as they get in, the disguise comes off, and Sparrow will probably not be too opposed to joining in having rum, just drinking something.
Yes.
I feel like Ori realizes her hand is still on the dagger, sighs, grabs the bottle. Ugh.
So you're making yourselves more comfortable,
Mhm.
getting some rest.
Yes.
Eventually, one of you, let's see, I'll just determine randomly who it's
Oh
gonna be.
boy.
Never a good sign.
No.
No, don't ever let Eric decide anything. Unless you want, like, mortal peril,
Oh,
danger.
not always. All right,
I
so
mean,
it's gonna be Ori. Ori, you are looking for another bottle when another small hand reaches out and grabs a bottle at the same time, and you look over and you see there's this goblin, and he sees you at the same time. Ah!
Excuse you.
Sorry. Yours, not mine.
Stop.
Yours.
Stop.
Yes, ma'am.
Who are you and why are you here?
Oh, I'm, well, my full name, and he says something in, like, guttural and goblin. He says, but people call me Stinky.
Refresh my memory. Did we meet this?
No,
goblin?
you've never
Okay,
met
cool.
this goblin before. And he says, I was just taking shelter here, and somebody left all this liquor here, and I like liquor.
Yeah.
Is this your liquor?
Yes.
Oh. Can I have some?
I feel like
No.
can Sparrow
Oh.
wander
Sounds
past
like
at
you-
this point?
It sounds like you've already gotten into it. You gonna
Oh.
be paying us back?
Well, I didn't drink any of it. I'm just cataloging it. You see, I like, and then he pulls out this notepad. I like lists. And he shows you a list of all of the bottles of liquor that you have in the hideout.
Hey guys, I
Any
found
other-
us something useful.
I'm only 12. I don't drink liquor.
Good.
At
What else
that
have you
point,
been taking lists of?
Sparrow will like come over to see what all the commotion's about, pause and go, who let that thing in?
Well, I have a list of silken things.
And
Shows
at that
you-
point, I'm like,
Yeah.
you nasty little miscreant, you've been through my unmentionables.
Apparently, more. I would guess more than yours, dear.
But
Y'all got
we
silk?
we have something useful here, which is someone who is very organized, motivated.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. And can do all of the accounting and things that we don't want to do, which is really great for
I
a
like
new
counting.
founder, with your business.
Ooh, business.
Yes.
I do business.
What other
What
business,
business do you
do you do?
I catalog things and I help people get the goods that they need.
Who you work under?
Well, I'm an independent operator.
We're all independent until a client comes in offering money. Who you working for?
Well, I was working for the
Voiceover on.
I was working for the Shadow Knives, but they found out how old I was and said I was too young to work for them, and that was their
Oh,
loss.
that's like Sparrow at that point. Oh, that is rich coming from them. I was
Right.
picking pockets for them at. We won't go there.
I like
Anyway,
you. You're nice and smart.
See, but that's how it is though. When you're little, they want you doing dumb stuff like here, put your hands in someone else's pockets, not here, help me crunch numbers.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
I don't like doing things like that. I
Oh.
like crunching numbers.
I got very good at putting my hands in other people's pockets, mind you.
So I've heard.
Well, that's silly. Why would you want to put your hands in other people's anything?
That's the fellow who's been through my underthings.
But
Those are under things? What do you mean under things?
what's really
What
fascinating,
do they go under?
if there's so
Gods
here's
below.
the thing though, in Hellfire Club we have a
Fire Club.
few, or sorry,
You're part of Hellfire?
Hellfire Club, she says. As though it's some
Whoa.
Hellfire Club,
ordinary
Hellfire Syndicate,
organization.
many
Yeah.
things.
the benevolent
within-
order of the Rotarians of Hellfire.
we are focusing on the wrong detail. We have individuals within Hellfire that are adept at the sorcery of numbers, that are able to steal from people just by manipulating mundane figures. Isn't that interesting? I bet
really?
this one could be taught.
That sounds remarkable. I would love to do that.
Yes, excellent.
Oh, he's learning fraud.
As long
Like-
as you don't fraud us, it's fine.
Man, that's not the fair
Anyway.
point.
Anyway, I know a lot of people and a lot of places in the city, and I can help you with whatever. Please don't make me leave. This is a nice place.
We will set terms and conditions for your staying here, which is
Condition
part of
one, you never ever again put your hands on my things.
Okay. That seems fair.
Yes, yes, staying out
Which
of,
things are yours? He flips to another page of his notebook. And looks at you
Oh.
expectantly.
God's
Oriana
below.
just seems very excited about this.
Likewise, Sounder is just sitting there like, we
Yeah,
can use this.
See?
This is a good
Exactly.
time.
Like Ori's just like, remember that time that we had that thing?
Kid wants to work. Kid wants
Yeah.
to work, and that's good.
Yeah. In exchange for your services, you will get a room.
Oh, good. I like room.
Board will be on your own.
Board is a bonus if you do well.
Exactly. Exactly.
I have board. You want to see my board?
Oh, for
Sure.
the love of...
He brings back a board with the nail sticking out of it.
Oh my god.
Pretty good board.
It
Yeah,
is a
I killed a rat
magnificent-
with it the other day.
Good job.
Oh, is that what that smell is?
Well, Yeah. Rats make a particular smell when you cook them. I ate a rat the other day. I'm hungry. Is there food?
Sparrow is just gaping in horror at this goblin child.
And then it gets worse. Eve pokes her head in. Who's that?
Apparently his name is Stinky.
Well, yeah, it is. And Stinky goes,
Oh god, there's two of them.
You know what? You two get along, because the adults got to do some talking.
Yes,
Okay.
I think we have much to discuss.
Stinky's like, do you want to see my board? And Eve says, no. And he's like, okay, well, it's over here. And then they head off that way.
All right. Well.
Oh, Stinky pokes his head back in. I entirely forgot. There's a letter that came for, I guess, you. I put it on the table. And then he goes off again.
Which one of us is you in this context?
He pointed at all four of you.
Oh, okay.
All right.
He said you.
Well then, do we
then
handle the
just-
letter first, or we discuss the current situation?
Let's open the letter and see if it applies to the current situation.
Fair point. All right, Sparrow will walk over and snatch
Before
up
you
the letter.
open it, make sure it's not gonna
Okay.
explode.
Cursed?
Yeah, I'm gonna just do like a little moment of detect magic.
The
On this
letter is sealed with a blob of white wax, in which is a symbol that looks like a crown made of feathers.
I'm not sure I recognize this.
Would Sounder recognize that at all? I don't.
Make
Maybe?
a history check.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Anyone,
I'm gonna do
anyone,
that
anyone can
too.
do this. You can all
I'm
make
gonna
a
do that
history
too.
check.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I got a 3.
I got a 9.
I got it.
11.
21?
Nice.
Okay, Ori, you recall at one time, Dumat, Lord of Silence, your mortal patron, once showed you this symbol. It was not in the context of being set into wax, but it was just traced on a piece of paper. And he said, if you ever see this symbol, you must take especial care. She
So-
to whom it belongs is very dangerous.
So as soon as Oriana recognized this, it's like that moment of back up. We are very careful right now. We are
Sparrow's still. Unless you snatched it away, Sparrow's still holding it.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, I'm casting detect magic, so if it's gonna bite us or blow us up when we open it, I'll know in a minute.
Okay. There's faint abjuration magic about the seal.
This is a very big deal. This is a very, very big deal.
Good big deal or bad big deal?
Possibly no way to know until we've opened it.
All right then. And Sparrow very carefully break the seal.
Okay. Yes, the magic disperses when you do that.
Oh, well,
Right?
all right then.
He'll unfold it.
People can make Arcana checks if they want to try and figure out what just
I'll
happened.
do a roll. Give me something. 13?
19.
16.
Okay. 13, you're pretty sure it is not harmful in any way. The 16 and 19, you're pretty sure that it's like a communication sort of thing. Like when you broke the seal, it probably
Probably
alerted
works
whoever.
like a alarm or
Oh.
similar spell.
Or a-
Return
Right.
receipt requested situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a red notification.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Uh,
what's it
anyway.
called?
And you look at the you unroll the paper, It is written in an elegant black script. Daughters of Darkness, I have need of your skills, and your reputation suggests that you might be exactly the ones who can deal with this issue. Please attend to me in the hold on. Name of the place. I have it in my notes somewhere. It's the plaza with the statue that you went to a long time ago. Do I have that written down? Anyway, it's a place where you know what they're talking about.
Well.
Oh, the Sorrowful Angel. There you go. Yeah, it's a fountain in a disused square with a androgynous divine figure with a jug of water. Used to be a strong current, now just a trickle. Okay.
She'll
attend to me in the in this square at midnight, and all shall be revealed.
Ooh.
And it's signed with an L.
That Sparrow will read it aloud, and at that point she'll go, Galen's 10th. Which, as a note, that is your god and patron that she just Sorry.
Oh man. Rude. Oriana just kind of like squints again with the side eye.
What? I've heard you
What
say
time
worse.
is it now?
I mean, I'm not the one to invoke the side eye of a dark patron of, powerful magics, but you do you.
That's a couple hours from now, Lex.
It's not my god. Not the point.
Not the point.
So I want to remind you that midnight is basically like noon in Nightside. It's when the city is most active.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, the city operates a lot between, like, as they term it, moonrise and moonset. That's really the only celestial body they get much sight of.
So I got an idea. If we're gonna actually look into that, we can don some Hellfire disguises or such, take a little poke around and see what fell off the train ourselves. Maybe we turn up something else to get us a bonus when we go talk to Spider.
Yes, we do still need to deal with the widow.
We do.
Yeah.
Nellie will be expecting her prize.
Yeah.
And considering we got one thing that we really don't want to give her.
What are you talking about?
And which thing is that?
You hear Stinky and Eve laughing and playing some kind of word game in the other room.
Yeah, so pretty much while I was poking around in the library of our mutual hosts until they so kindly turned us out, found some interesting pictures and literature and suggest some questionable stuff was on that train.
Yeah, thank you for leaving me on the library floor, by the way.
Don't say.
You weren't on the floor when I left.
Then where was I?
I don't know. You weren't there.
Fine. Well, okay.
You disappeared on me
What?
twice that night.
All right. Well, anyway, what is this thing that you've, like, what did you find?
I don't know what specifically she is, but she might be what was being looked after. But also, I mean, there's other stuff maybe we found. Anyone else find anything on the train?
I say we just give her all of it.
I think, yeah, from what I was able to research, she's tied in with the Grey itself somehow.
Yeah, we definitely don't
This is
want
all
to give
very
the
why?
widow
Yeah.
Paycheck. We were
Paycheck,
hired. We were
yes.
hired to do a job. What she does
We
with
were
it at the
hired.
end is none of our
and
business.
backstab.
We've no evidence that Nellie was behind that. None.
Oh,
Oh.
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 So what? The widow in her super secret, hey, go do this heist, just happened to be sloppy enough that some rando found out who we were and what we were doing?
I mean, you all are wanted on the other side.
Yes, and
Yeah,
you
we
don't
weren't
seem
before.
to be at all. Tell me how
Meanwhile-
that happened. How did you manage to not wind up on the wanted poster?
I was on different wanted posters, if that makes you feel any better.
Not
That's not
really.
a wanted
Hadn't
poster.
been
That's
seen
called
with you.
that's called a missing persons poster, and that was a
Yeah.
very different thing.
That's a mommy and daddy are looking for you kind of poster.
All I
Not,
can say is
you're
either
gonna
our
spend your life in the
association is yet to
dungeons.
be uncovered by anyone on Dayside, or Mummy and Daddy paid someone very handsomely to keep my face off the poster. One or the other. Little from column A, little from column B, who knows. But I'm not suggesting we take Nellie the child. I'm suggesting we take her the jeweled rod. She rejects it. We know she was after the child.
And then we give
She
her the
accepts
child.
it.
We get paid. We leave.
She accepts it. We get paid. We leave. We arrange for Oriana to steal it back because I know she's become a bit attached.
I mean, I'm already attuned to it. So, like,
You what? What?
yes.
That does
Why?
introduce a bit of a
Beside
complication.
beside the point, though, we're missing the child size hole in this plan, which is that again, if she was expecting this avatar of the gray to be the thing, on first glance it will be obvious that that is not it. And that will lead to a greater array of questions. I personally don't care whether or not, I mean, Eve seems very sweet,
Yeah,
I
she
suppose,
seems
for
lovely.
a child. But I am
I'm just
also
saying,
not interested in being a babysitter.
I'm not
Yes.
saying you
I-
gotta babysit. I'm just saying I don't want to hand over any amount of power to somebody who decided, hey, I'm gonna sell one of you out before you've even left the place,
But
and
I
the
don't-
rest of
I
you out
don't
when you
think
get
Nellie
to
would make poor use of her.
So the question I have with regards to that is, I also don't necessarily know if she would sell us out directly, because what would she have to gain? We are
I don't know
not.
what she had to gain from selling out
Well, so what?
Sparrow, but
What?
here we are.
I'm sorry. Back up a step.
Oh yeah, no, that was what I was trying to talk with you
What?
about the library, but you kind of disappeared on me.
Oh,
I'm going to
Okay.
need you to elaborate on that.
Yeah.
one.
So the night before we head out, right, we're all cozy, nice in the beds that she provides us. She's talking to somebody. Couldn't get close enough to see who, but whoever they are, they were real interested in you, Sparrow. And
huh.
the widow, to her credit, was just, oh no, you can have that one. I don't need that one.
Oh. All right. Well, that changes a great many numbers
Yes.
of things.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
You can see
Now
why I'm a little leery of going back.
Now I'm inclined to give her
Yeah.
exactly what she deserves, which is a blade in the bloody ribs.
So, alternative thought. I don't particularly like this option any more than I assume all of you will once I propose it. But the widow is somebody who has been making moves in various circles, and
Yep.
If we were to tell Hellfire what happened, maybe we could have some sort of leverage to protect ourselves when we eventually have that confrontation.
So, do we want to give Hellfire more power? Is what you're asking.
No. We don't have to tell them that we have what she was looking for. We just tell them what she was looking for.
I suspect they already know she was looking for something, or someone was looking for something, because they've cleared the streets. Which brings me to my second point. We should probably go poke around ourselves and see what we can find.
From the sound of it, I am wondering if that whole mess, that whole mess that we were all fighting in Dayside has perhaps followed us here.
Or maybe was here, dropped off after the whole thing's falling off the rails. Might have beat us here, is what I'm saying.
I could just go and ask.
I don't like that either.
What?
Nellie, what precisely is the form factor of that which you've had us chasing? We may or may not have found it. We may have a difficult time retrieving it. If we know precisely what we're looking for, we'll know whether or not it's worth the effort.
If that's what you decide to do it yourself. Keep us out of it.
Oh, obviously I'd go alone.
Yeah, maybe I can meet with Demott.
Don't let her know we're even alive. I'm pretty sure she was trying to have us killed. Not you. Just the rest of us.
Well, someone clearly was, given how we found her.
That's, not an unreasonable ask on your part, actually. No.
I would be concerned sending you in there, given given how that meeting with her agent went. Because if she did have something to do with that, if she simply does not care, or wanted you out of the picture as well, then that's a problem. And you could be in a great deal of danger still.
Yes.
My concern is that she is perhaps in a great deal of danger, because whoever stole my face is likely doing so to get near to her in a way that they otherwise wouldn't. And,
Well, at this point I'm inclined not to care much about her safety.
Well, that makes one of you. Just like to check on her is all. And if I could do so under the guise of gathering information in hopes of delivering her promised item to her, that feels reasonable cover.
So those of you who can change your face around, do you know how to make other people's faces change?
Well, no, I'm only able to do it to myself.
I do want to point out that Silver Sparrow is proficient with disguise kits.
I am. This is true. I do have, I do have some skill.
She might not be the only one.
Yes, I do have some skill with, mundane disguises, if you need.
Anji's proficient with disguise kit as well.
Is there anyone you can trust that you could take with you to go talk to her? Maybe someone you could make invisible and just have sitting nearby.
Maybe someone whose safety you don't really care that much about.
I suppose I could take Tarrant along.
I mean, and if it turns out that she double-crossed us,
the man can effect an escape like
going?
no one I've ever known, so...
Well... Excuse me, I'm
more
just as good at getting out of things as he is.
Back at her than to bring a man into her wonderful little secret hideout.
That is a
Pharaoh,
problem.
I don't doubt you're equally proficient, but you're nowhere near as cowardly.
Fair, I suppose. Why is that a selling point?
Because we need him to run and cut his losses if he comes to it, and you're going to get attached and go, I can save her.
If he smells a
You
double
don't
cross,
know
will he...
me.
Gestures at Ori.
That's... She like get very flustered. Fine, I care about you all equally.
If we are being double-crossed by the likes of Anel, it's best for someone to smell that coming a mile away and get us out of the blast radius.
Yes, but as was pointed out,
There's no use for bravery in such a situation.
No. Well, as was pointed
And
out,
you can't
though,
help yourself, can you? I rest
in
my case.
certain environments, perhaps.
The
Look,
point being,
I'm also pointing out that taking a man into the widow's sanctum is not the best idea. If you care for his safety, I suppose you don't, but
Did I say I care for his safety? No.
no.
I
But
care for my safety.
it sort of makes him. It sort of undermines the point of taking someone with you.
if she sniffs him out.
It would be fun to make him enter on his knees and such.
That man,
Look,
if there's one
however
thing
you
that man has
decide.
more than cowardice, it's an ego.
We
Yeah,
frame it like a
complicated,
game.
kinky relationship.
Just a bit of a game.
I don't see him
Okay,
kneeling for
I don't
anyone.
need to know the details of how you're gonna do it. Just keep in mind what you're walking into, and you do you. I'm gonna go try and find out more about what fell off the train.
Right. So,
I'll check in with Demont.
To
okay.
that
Well,
point,
what am I supposed to
Ori.
do then?
can I borrow some Hellfire colors while I'm poking around this side of town? And Sparrow, can I borrow some Shadow Knives colors while I'm poking around the other side of town?
Why don't the two of you go together so that way you can help Sounder stay, disguised and watch her back?
And I'm all too familiar with the ways of the Shadow Knives. I can do that, yes.
Well, this is very promising. Party's first plan of action: split the party.
Yeah!
All right.
What could possibly go wrong?
So let me ask you this question: are you going to try and resolve these things before this midnight meeting, or are you not going to do the midnight meeting at all?
Sounder wants to do the midnight meeting, but she
Yeah.
wants more info before she does. Like, she wants to know who this...
Okay, so you are
Symbol.
trying to resolve it before.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I would
And
not
that's
wanna
part of why
go-
you're splitting the party. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go see Nellie until after the midnight meeting because I might miss the meeting otherwise. We
Okay.
might be a
That's
little
fair.
busy. We might
Okay.
be busy after that.
So do you want to stick with one of the other people and their task before you do the before you follow up with the widow?
I mean, you could go with Oriana, but I don't know
I
how
would
good
go
of an
with
idea that is.
Oriana. like if we're
Two
we're feeling,
tieflings on the town.
yeah, exactly. We're
Oh,
just
man.
Peep
We're just-
gang.
Get all dolled up, go out on town.
not entirely sure that her patron isn't gonna take one look at me and faint, but that could be funny. So
Oriana just kind of looks
I
at the
don't
very
think-
pink tiefling and it's like,
I don't think that man faints for nothing.
I mean,
no, I
I think it'd be
I-
hard. Well,
I'm definitely supposed to be dead or kidnapped. I'm definitely not supposed to be running around Nightside with Oriana. Like,
disguise
That's
kit.
just-
being in plain sight.
yeah, it's like, we're not going to talk about this, sir. We're just,
Also, if you do want to utilize Tarrant, you do need to contact him again, and you're pretty sure you can leave messages and an announcement for him to come and contact you,
yeah.
but that might take some time. So I guess it would make sense for you to leave out a notice and then go off and do a different thing, and then he'll circle back later.
I will leave
Okay.
out a notice and a collar and a silver chain. So he knows exactly what kind of job he's being tapped for.
We have this flash cut to Tarrant looking at this collar and chain in his hands. He's like, I don't know why I keep going back to that will. Anyway.
Bring your knee pads, babe.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break. And that's partly for the audience so that, bathrooms can happen. And it's partly for the players so that, bathrooms can happen. So we will be back in about 10 minutes. So don't go away. And we're back. Time to split the party. I'm sure nothing will go wrong here. We're going to start with the tiefling ladies heading out to see Dumat, Lord of Silence. Oriana's mortal patron.
I will ask a few questions of Oriana. Just to make sure, like, I will be dressed flawlessly to his taste and, like, my most charming self specifically tailored to what he would find charming. So, like, let you help me pick out my clothes and what we're doing with the hair and which jewelry, how tasteful, how gaudy. Like, it's all about him right now.
I imagine, like, based on vibes, that, Dumat is a professional and would probably, like, not be about the TNA. Like, that's the vibe I get.
Yeah, so the charisma button will be closed. We'll just button that right back up.
So Ori would probably help pick out something that's more in, like, traditional, like, warlock adjacent kind of vibes of like, this is the traditional.
Oh God, it's gonna be the outfit she ran away from home in.
Yeah,
except
like a gothier version though.
Yeah, but like definitely cotillion vibes, country club vibes more than like industry party rock and roll vibes.
I think less that and more like again the female version of like the mafia outfit basically.
Okay.
Like not a suit but like suit vibes. and she would just basically be like, okay, so Mod is very powerful, he's ancient beyond measure, you kind of have a complicated relationship with him. You may hear things that he says and that I respond to him that may not be true nor accurate. But
it's also exactly none of my business. I don't care.
Thank you.
I don't care.
Okay, cool.
We're good.
Good. I don't know how this will work. But I'm sure it will be fine. Fine.
So you're making your way through the deserted streets of
making our way downtown
of Nightside. Yeah.
Walking fast.
There is a distinct smell of persistent rot that you can just pick up. Greymantle has a wide assortment of smells, but this particular one, it smells like dusty, long abandoned organic material that has begun to decay. And it's very faint, but it's definitely noticeable. Again, you don't encounter any people on the streets, and this time you don't come across a patrol. You hear one in some distance, but they don't cross your path. Okay, and you eventually get to the tavern where Dumat hangs out. I don't think I have it listed, the name of this particular tavern. Let me just double check my notes. No, I don't have it listed. All right. There's this one particular tavern that he is a particular patron of, and he has his own room in the back where he does rituals and arcane study. The tavern it has this, let's just call it the Burning Man Tavern.
Mm-hmm.
not named after the event of all the people with the weird cars and
Subtle.
instructions. Okay. Burning Man Tavern. All right. The art on the sign out front shows a humanoid silhouette shrouded in flames. And yep, he is in there, and there are a few other people, and there's this weird, slightly disjointed music that's playing. There are people dancing, kind of slow, languorous, alluring sorts of dance. Anji, you've been in places like this. Like you don't work in a place like this, but you have worked in places like this, and you don't work in places like this. It is seedy and a little on the edge of what you would be caught dead at, right? And Dumont is there. He's not paying attention to the dancers. He's sitting in a booth at the end of the row of booths, his typical place, and drinking. He sees Oriana come in, and he nods to her slightly, which is the permission to approach.
She nods and, sort of gestures Anji to, come with.
Quietly nodding and following.
I see you have brought a guest, child.
Yes. This is Anji, one of my associates.
Yes. The performer. Your reputation precedes you. Demott is a very large, not necessarily super muscular, but real thick, very dark skinned, kind of intricate horns rising from his head. He is a tiefling of indeterminate age. You said ancient beyond measure. He's probably somewhere middle-aged. Hard to say. And he has a deep, resonant voice.
Is this a good place to talk? We have, a lot has happened.
And what is it that we need to discuss?
Well, I would like to discuss the curfew.
The plague, you mean?
The plague.
Come with me. He rises and steps toward what you were pretty sure was a wall, but is indeed a door that he pushes open. And you enter into his spellcasting chamber, essentially. It's full of ancient tomes on bookshelves. There's a summoning circle in the middle that is outlined in red, wet red ink of some kind. It's probably large enough, 10 feet in diameter or so, to summon something powerful. With your basic arcane knowledge, you can tell that is indeed its purpose, and he's probably summoned fiends through that circle. And again, the place is full of books and statues and just arcane implements and paraphernalia. Not in an ostentatious way, but in a functional way. This is obviously a work space.
Yeah. I imagine, Oriana does her best to, stop her eyes from, glancing at, some of the more interesting tomes, but just, again, still a warlock, still just oh,
wow. The door seals itself behind you, seemingly turning back into a wall. Tell me.
Well, I suppose, I would like to know what is happening here first, because that will help. I don't want to tell you things you already know
Of
and waste
course.
your time.
You know that I hear whispers in the silence, and there are rumors of plague descending upon Dayside, and soon upon Nightside as well.
Is there what have you what has been said about this plague?
There is a surfeit of proof that such things are coming to pass, but if there is indeed a recurrence of an undead scourge in Nightside, we
Yes.
must be aware, and folk must take precaution. As you see,
Yeah.
the Archon has declared a curfew that has lasted for the last night, but her power is not infinite, and it will be lifted unless you can find evidence of such a thing.
So
The death toll of a plague in Nightside, as crowded as it is, would be catastrophic.
yeah. So I feel like, Ori would just like, lift part of her outfit where the bruises and wounds that she had taken from the fight are still healing and everything.
Mhm.
The dead did rise in Dayside. They're
So it is true then.
yeah. The widow, as you remember,
Put
put
out
us.
your arms. Okay, he inspects your arms. You do not appear to have been bitten.
No,
What of your companion?
I don't. Like at this, she'd look at Anji. I fell in battle, but I don't think anybody. Do you know?
No, I remained quite upright and conscious throughout the entire ordeal, and I can assure you, no bites, no scratches, no physical contact at all.
That wound in your belly,
Oh.
that was not from a bite, that was from a knife.
Indeed it was.
We
You are
encountered.
both pure of a plague. This is
That is
good.
fact.
We,
Nightside has encountered
Hmm.
an undead plague before. Symptoms manifest soon, but not immediately. You will slowly transform into a walking corpse.
Sounds
I
good.
see no such fate about you now.
And it's only transferred via bite?
Not necessarily. That is the most common means of transfer. But if you were to dwell in a place haunted by the scourge, you might come upon it quite without contact with any infected entities. I suspect your acuity with the arcane will allow you to see such dangerous places. Avoid the plague, the scourge, at all costs.
We have reason to suspect that the widow is likely behind engineering some of this coming about.
Nell, the Black Widow, you mean?
Yes.
Looks over at Anji. For like a little bit longer than just a casual glance. She spins her own web and has her own purposes. I do not believe she is behind bringing the plague to Nightside.
She had us
do a job on the Doom train where we were supposed to look for an item of power for her. We have
She did not specify what this item was.
no.
That is curious.
Was it
Yeah.
entirely in character?
Perhaps she did not know what this item was. Why would she ask you to steal something without telling you what it was? Consider this. The Black Widow rarely does anything without purpose, and that purpose is hard to see. I doubt that you have seen it yet.
Well, I suspect, based on the when the main area where we were looking for this object was filled with coffins, and many the job got interrupted by some of the soldiers of Aris.
Purifiers.
Yes. And
Nods knowingly.
the coffins ended up going into the sea, where we believe that's where the wave of undead likely had its origin. From
He nods, a little bit less certain.
when I did research on some of the markings and things we found on one of the coffins, I have reason to believe she was likely looking for something related to the Grey. Some sort of item or something.
That weapon you wield.
This? And she again is like like looking at her hand on the dagger.
That is a trifle. The Fang of Hellfire. You have cursed yourself with this item. I'm sure you will find a solution to this. I mean the other weapon.
Oh, this? She holds up the rod.
It is an item of some power. Did you find it upon the Doom train?
I did.
Would you give it to me?
Do you want it?
He says nothing.
I strongly suspect that is the item for which Anel sent us.
She reluctantly hands it to him.
He doesn't take it.
She looks confused, but is this just...
You should choose your own power, Oriana. This is yours, not mine, and not hers.
The problem we find ourselves in right now is that we have to report back, but it is very likely that the thing that she wished for went into the sea along with everything else, because we were not able to thoroughly search the train. Our concern is twofold, which is, one, if she is looking for something to that is tied to the Grey and the forces within it, that could be problematic for Nightside and the balance of power. And number two, when we are summoned to report back, I would like to have some sort of leverage that there would be repercussions
should things be taken to an extreme with regards to this job results.
I will grant you a blessing.
Thank you.
And he puts out his hand and holds it over Oriana's chest, like not touching her, but like holding it over there. And you feel, Oriana, like something bites into the skin of your chest and just burns a sigil into your skin. And Anji, you're standing there and you can see this quite readily. It's like a tattoo just traces itself in red burning ink onto her flesh, with little bit of steam rising as it goes. Oriana, you take 2 points of fire damage, which is reduced to 1 point because you have resistance.
Yeah. Okay.
If you are in fear, use this sigil. It shall whisk you from harm.
Thank you.
Do not thank me.
What's the other thing?
You serve my will in this.
Of course.
We serve one another. It is how power is exchanged.
Of course.
He looks to Anji briefly. What is your role in this?
Mostly, I suppose, to look after Anel's interests.
Of course.
I can't imagine the plague would benefit her personally, meaning I doubt she had anything to do with its inception, at least not on purpose. Perhaps unintentionally, our search for a magical item that would, in some way, empower her could have set the whole thing off, but I just can't see her causing a plague. She wouldn't like it.
You believe in the goodness of those you care for.
No, dear, I believe in the selfishness of those I know well enough.
He looks to Oriana. You have chosen a good companion.
Yes. Anji is exceptional at everything that she does. There was another thing. With regards to our last conversation, you were correct.
Yes.
But I am keeping an eye on everything. And it should be, well, we'll see.
Very well. I have a task for you.
Of course.
He looks at Anji kind of pointedly and then looks back to Oriana as if questioning you. And you're pretty sure he's asking you silently whether you want her to hear it or not.
Anji, can you give us a few minutes, please?
As you wish.
All right.
And I'm just going to kind of wave my hand at the wall that I know is going to turn into a door until it does.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm leaving.
Okay. And when you were alone, Dumont says to Oriana, time is coming when the light shall fall upon Nightside. In preparation for this, become the ally of the Archon. You will need her, and she you.
Now, clarification, is the Archon a part of Hellfire, or is it, or are they, just, like, the overall, like, mayor of Nightside?
Okay, good question.
Yeah.
So, as far as you know, there is indeed an Archon of Nightside. You have never met this person, and you have never interacted with this person. The Archon is not in Hellfire or any particular organization. The Archon is like a neutral arbiter of all the various organizations that run Nightside. And the Archon rarely acts, right? Their only purpose is to maintain the balance of power in the city.
Okay.
And so most people never talk about the Archon.
Okay.
So.
Do you have advice on how to go about this?
She has called you to a meeting, has she not?
Ah.
Give her what she asks for, but choose your own power when the moment comes. Choose your own power at every moment, but especially the key moment. Use your own discernment when that will be. You are a worthy apprentice. Do not forget this.
I am reminded every day.
You have spent so much time with these others. I fear they have softened you. Do not allow yourself to become softened.
Understood.
Good.
And yeah, I guess she would just sort of give that little nod of her head and go to head out.
Okay. Yep, the wall has become a door once again. He goes back to working on some kind of ritual. Like, now that you brought him some information, and now he's working on a ritual of some kind.
Can I do an Arcana check to get a vibe of what that is?
You sure can. Make a check.
Hell yeah. 11.
It is something involving the lower planes.
Interesting.
Like a summoning ritual, or maybe a divination ritual. Hard to say.
Okay.
That's what you get out of it.
Gotcha. Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, she would come back just kind of like looking very uneasy at Anji and just be like, we should get going back to the others for the meeting.
Okay. I have added to your character sheet that you have an item. It's not really an item so much as a feature of your character called Fiery Sojourn. It is the sigil burned onto your chest.
Okay.
It is usable one time. You're not entirely sure what it does, but when he was placing the sigil on you, you got the sense of that being what it's called.
Okay.
Okay. And you two go ahead and finish up what you were talking about, and then we'll switch over. So
yeah,
you just kind of share a nod and head out.
Yeah, if we want to have any more conversation, it's not going to be out on the street, because even though like it's we're quarantined and like supposedly no one's out there. There are ears everywhere, and like Anji is certainly not gonna say anything that is probably Ori's private business, like unless they are someplace
Yeah.
Well, you can
properly
hang out.
soundproof.
You can
So,
hang
like,
out in the Burning Man if you want to.
absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're going home to change clothes for our fancy meeting.
Yeah. Ori very much is just in that like, "Oh, I really don't like that I keep getting dug in deeper." Like basically like literally wearing that like big wince expression of like
I do
Okay.
hope you appreciate I've just outed myself to Hellfire. You know, just
Surely that can't go wrong.
Um
Yeah.
Dumont will not you have, but you have done so in a way that it has been made clear that you are of use to me, which means you are of use to him. Sacrificing you at this juncture is not something that would be in his benefit.
Especially not now. Send me back to Dayside only to die of the plague. Not helpful. Not helpful.
But at least we have a way to have an expeditious retreat should we need to with the widow.
And his agreement with my contention that Nellie most likely didn't cause this on her own, at least not intentionally.
Yeah. There's a lot of things at work.
The hell with all of them. Let's go get dressed.
Exactly.
All right. We'll switch over to the other two. Thank you. All right. Now, thank you for your patience, Sparrow and Sounder. We are to you now. So you said you were going to head out. Oh, you said you were going to head out and get some information. Is that correct?
Yes.
What exactly are you doing?
So, I feel like the first thing Sounder does is try and go to her known, like, info caches, if that makes sense. Like, places where she's ferreted things away over the years that she hasn't had a chance to, like, really dig through, except every now and then. And she's looking for information about that seal, because, yeah, Ori shared that it's, you know, someone dangerous, maybe, you know, someone with power of some kind, but that doesn't mean we know who or what.
Right. Okay.
So that's one side of things. Whatever she turns up on that, she's only going to spend a, you know, comparatively small amount of time, as opposed to getting out on the street where she remembers vaguely things fell off the train to try and suss out where those went.
So you want to check out the crash site?
Yes.
Okay.
Or sites, or however that breaks down.
So, Sparrow, you kind of follow Sounder around as she takes seemingly random alleys and streets and finds these like little caches of books and scrolls, flips through them, doesn't seem to find what she's looking for, sticks them back and hides them under, you know, loose rocks and stones. It's
mind you, these books are protected in like waterproofed, like wax sealed bags and things, but it's like it's clear that these are like scraps of things that were snatched and then just stuffed together in a loose organization.
Right. And I am going to ask Sounder to make a history check with advantage. Because you're spending some time utilizing your library, as it were.
Why aren't you letting me do that?
You could just roll twice and take the higher result if that works better. 15, okay. All right, so you get that that is the symbol of the Arbiter of Nightside. There's a passing reference to the Arbiter. The last time they actually intervened in Nightside's operations was at least a century ago. The Arbiter is essentially a neutral figure who is supposed to keep things running in Nightside, keep the balance of power among all of the powerful groups in the city. The crown made of feathers is some kind of reference to the Arbiter's identity, like maybe they're a bird or they have wings or something. It kind of hard to say.
Okay. Is
You
there
do
anything
not
about...
find a name for this entity.
Okay. But is there anything about that statue they asked us to meet at that might spark an extra bit of information or something to do with the feathers angle?
Okay. So, the statue that is pouring the water had wings at one point. You can still see little stumps, residual pieces of statuary, where the wings have been broken off, and so little stumps still persist.
Do we know what broke the wings off? Or... Okay.
I mean, it could have just been wear and tear of the city over the centuries. This is very old. Very, very old statue.
Okay.
Okay. And then you're checking out the crash site?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, the Doom train moves on an elevated track. It basically dips into the city at one point, and then it rises up and goes around this elevated track. And it crashed basically just this side of the gray is what it looks like. Like the tracks are broken off at one point.
Okay.
And there are still smoking ruin along the cliffs and of numerous buildings along the track. You do see some people out and about around here doing some work or inspecting the ruins or something of that nature.
Okay. I think specifically Saunders looking for... Because there was a period of time where she was briefly staring out the side of the ripped open train as things were falling out, and she remembers seeing one of these coffins slide out and crash into an upper story of a building. She's looking for that one first, and if that's...
you do find that building where apparently some they describe it as shrapnel from the Doom train crashed into this building and tore through the upper story.
Okay.
The building appears to be deserted. There's nobody there currently. And there are 2 Hellfire wardens outside the building, apparently to keep anybody from going inside.
So a warden is a step up from an enforcer?
No, they're basically the same thing.
Okay.
So they're, Hellfire troops with glaives.
Cool.
And the glaives are definitely some infernal-looking weapon that they carry around.
Cool, makes sense.
If you get close to them, they glare at you, like expecting you to go on your way.
No reason to antagonize them.
But it seems clear that if you want to get into that building, you would have to slip past them or talk your way past them. Or fight your way past them. Whatever you choose to do.
first sounder's gonna, just continue on past them. They're glaring at her, just a kind of little nod as she continues past. But, once we're out of earshot, she's gonna turn to Sparrow. So I know for a fact one of the things went through that building. Is there any way you think you could get us in or get eyes on it?
I could potentially get myself in. I'm not sure I could get both of us, not without... Certainly we could try talking our way inside, but I think...
I somehow don't think that'll work.
Yes. Much as I think I would enjoy that, I don't think it would go well, ultimately. So perhaps we should look into it a different way, I should say. I might be able to see if I can slip in through the shadows.
Might be worth a shot.
Could be.
Just be careful. Last time you tried that, something happened.
Did it?
You seemed pretty rattled after you came back.
Okay. True. Well, I don't see us having much choice. So,
We could always try and finagle some rope up there.
We could.
I don't do much second story work, but I can do it in a pinch.
Fair. Well, I don't suppose... Do you have any rope?
I always have rope.
Alright. Well, how about this? I might be able to flip up there and potentially lower the rope. Find something to secure it to.
Okay.
Better than nothing.
What
And then
you
you
gonna
won't
do?
just be up there alone.
Yeah. I'll try to do that. See if there's a spot where I can slip through the shadows.
Okay, so you're gonna do your shadow dancing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can find a shadowy spot on this side of the street, and then teleport yourself up into the broken, cracked upper story. There are plenty of shadows. The thing about Nightside is that there are always plenty of shadows. And you're up there. You hear wind whistling all around you against the broken shards of glass, leavings from the windows. There are pieces of cloth flapping in the breeze. You're actually up fairly high. This is maybe 1,000 feet above the water down below, and kind of overlooking the bay. And you feel this just intense cold from somewhere nearby. Like when you came up from the street and you get up here and it just feels freezing cold. There's also no sound except for the whistling wind.
Lovely. I'll look around. Is there anything nearby that looks like she could reasonably secure the rope to?
There are broken pieces of furniture. There are pieces of iron sticking out of brick walls where the coffin tore through. Remember, this is pseudo-Victorian, so they have, they have pipes and such for plumbing. So yeah, you think you could probably attach it to
Okay.
some plumbing.
I do that then.
And most importantly, in this semi-room, right, like
Mm-hmm.
a third of it has been torn away, you see a coffin partly wedged into the wall.
Oh.
Like it came through that big opening that you're standing next to and just stabbed into the opposite wall. Didn't go all the way through. It's partly in it.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to touch that right now. That seems like a poor
Aw.
choice. But I am going to tie the rope to one of the bits of plumbing, and
Okay.
and then give it a couple little tugs, like toss it over
Okay.
the side, and just kind of make sure
So, Sound,
it's yeah.
you see this rope come spiraling down. You want to make your way over to the rope?
I do, and I rolled stealth. I got a 19.
All right, that's sufficient. You don't think anyone sees you,
That's good.
and I'm going to need an athletics check to climb the rope. It's not very difficult.
It's a 10.
Okay, that's sufficient. But like, if you were, rocking some noodle arms, it might have been difficult. That's what we refer to one of our Westgate Irregulars characters who has a strength of 6. And every time she comes up to a rope, she's like, "Uh-oh, oh no, oh no." So, all right. Anyway, yeah, you climb up the rope.
When she gets to the top, she's gonna roll, that rope back up to where they are, because I don't want someone
Yeah,
following
that's
us.
a good idea.
Yep. Before any guardsman walks past,
Yeah.
like the rope, whoop, 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 and then a guardsman walks past who's like,
Completely oblivious.
yep, keeps marching on his way. All right, you are both now standing up in that room. It is strangely quiet. Like the silence has a character all its own. It's starting to make your ears hurt and your teeth ring slightly. Oh, and you see this coffin wedged into the wall. It's cracked, like the wood of the coffin is cracked, but the coffin itself is not open.
All right.
Thank the
So,
gods for
I'm
small
gonna-
favors, I suppose.
Yeah, there's that. I'm gonna try and look at what's written from what's visible, see what kind of seal it is.
And look for clues about the coffin.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the coffin
Hopefully it
appears to
doesn't
be
rust easily.
sealed with nails.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a waxen sort of seal around the lid.
Any arcane symbols like some of the other coffins
Oh, yeah.
that had? Okay.
Lots of protective symbols drawn onto the coffin.
Any of those symbols broken by the crack?
Oh, yes. Several.
Great.
Great. Yeah, that's fantastic.
You think as you're close to it, you can hear this faint little hissing sound. Just
Gonna take a moment back, like hold breath, take a moment back, go back to the opening, pull up like bandana or something over face, because I don't want to breathe in whatever's coming hissing out of that.
okay.
And then gonna try again.
That's probably fair.
Yeah, you approach it. You can hear that hissing sound again.
I will say I'm also going to cast mage armor just in case. Just in case. Last thing I need is that to go wrong.
Okay. You do cast mage armor on yourself. All right.
Mhm.
You are protected by your shimmering sheen of magic.
For now, my AC is 15, just for your records.
Okay.
And yeah, gonna get to work. I don't have any detect magic spell, which that's an oversight on my part. But she is going to take a moment to make note of the sigils and such that she sees and try and suss out what they were and
Okay. I would like you to make an Arcana check and an Investigation check.
All right, let's start with investigation. There's a 12,
Okay.
which is rough because I'm supposed to be good at that.
Sure.
And Arcana is 15.
Okay. So, with the Investigation check, you can tell that the coffin is compromised. Like, it's not broken open, but there are like little cracks in the wax seal, and something is escaping from it. With the Arcana, you can tell that those are protective wardings meant to keep something in, and also, pointedly, to keep people from interfering with the coffin so that people cannot get inside it as well.
Okay.
You think that you could probably seal it yourself with the application of some wax to cover up the spot where it's leaking.
It's worth a shot. Alright, Sparrow, so I don't have a lot of wax, but I'm going to use what I got, plug this hole,
All right.
and hopefully buy us some time. I was going to suggest maybe we open it up, see what's in it, see if it's something we could take back and get paid for, but no, it is actively hissing.
Yeah, I think that whatever's going on here, we need to make sure that gets sealed up tightly. I agree.
On that note, do you have any candles on you?
No, wait, yes, I do actually. And she'll
I might need them.
dig around in a little bag of gear and pull out. I have 5. She has 5 candles. You need all
Perfect
of them,
for all of your pentagram needs.
right? Oh, here, you're welcome to them. I see well enough in the dark without.
Well, we'll see how many I need. If I have left over, I'll give them back. Yeah. Between that and, like, the beeswax she usually has on her, how much of this coffin can I seal?
You think you can seal up the broken parts?
Okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna make an attempt to do that, and then reapply whatever sigils were supposed to be on it.
Okay, that will require a woodworker's tools check,
Oof, I don't
which I'm
actually
guessing
have
you don't
woodworkers.
have, so it's
I
going to
didn't
be
realize you meant they
dexterity.
were carved in.
Well, I mean, just the woodworker's tools is basically, being adept with things made of wood, such as this coffin. So if
Okay.
you don't have that skill, that's fine. It's just a dexterity check. I know that-
17.
Oh, hey, not bad, not
You're
bad.
carving them in
Okay.
with the tip of a dagger or something, I guess.
Yeah,
Well, it's
combination of-
mostly about finding the bits where the wax will stick and where all the leaks are coming from.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay, so yeah, you soften the wax, you paste it on there, kind of caking it on pretty thick actually, and you hear that hissing just kind of stop.
That's one of I don't remember how many. Fuck. Sorry, that's the one.
Yes, because we are a PG-13 stream. One
Mhm.
F-bomb per session.
Yep.
All right. And no, people did ask me, it is not one F-bomb per person per session. It is just one per session. Okay. All right. So,
Not
yeah,
everybody gets one.
you think you've sealed up this coffin. And the sense of kind of unease and dread in this upper floor has kind of eased somewhat.
I think I just bought us some time.
Yeah, you can breathe a little easier.
Well,
Barrow, level with me.
about.
How bad does this room feel?
I mean, relatively speaking, how bad does it feel to Sparrow with her
Make,
ties to what she's tied to and her inherent necrotic resistance?
make an insight check, and I'm going to give you advantage.
All right.
Because of your subclass.
Well, the first one was a 21, and the second one is an 18.
Okay. Well, fortunately, yeah, you get a pretty good feel of the place. It felt dead when you first got here, and now it feels mostly dead. Like, just cold and unwelcoming and foreboding. You're pretty sure that the people who lived here, if they survived, are never coming back here. Like, this is a dead place. The shadows feel deep and long, and like you could sink into them and never leave.
So it's familiar, is what you're saying.
I am saying that.
Okay. Sparrow will kind of look around. Well, I've been trying not to think about it, but this place feels dead. Old. Something's... We've sealed it, but something's still wrong. It's all too familiar. I felt this before. Put it that way. Or something similar.
Well, let's get out of here. I don't think there's much we can do short of setting it on fire.
Sounder, on the edge of your awareness, you can hear a faint buzzing sound, just growing a little bit louder. Like you thought maybe that was just the silence before. Sometimes silence has a character and a little buzz to it. But now it's multiple buzzes, like the sound of many insects approaching you.
Can you hear that?
Can I hear that?
Now that Sounder has pointed it out, Sparrow, whose perception is not great, yes, you can hear it indeed.
My passive perception's it's 12, but
It's 12, yeah. It's
not
not wonderful.
awful,
It's
but
not as good as Sounder's. That's why Sounder heard it first.
That's fair.
So, and you see a cloud of flies and other insects
Oh.
sweeping toward the upper floor, kind of up the stairs, like a moving, walking thing coming toward you.
Oh, that's not good. We should.
It's Yep, that is a spell, immediate spell. Spell is the answer.
Leaving is the answer.
It is also the answer, but Sounder is not very fast.
I'm going to have you all roll an initiative check, please.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, Sparrow's caught off guard.
Yeah, I rolled a 4 for the audience following along.
You
at home.
too.
Oh boy. All right. So, Sounder, did you also get a 4? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you are like the place is just kind of worn on your nerves, and you're standing there and you're just kind of like there's this feeling of languid dissolving into darkness, and you're just like and then before you can move, the swarm is on top of you,
Gross.
biting, stinging, falling on your skin, the little feet of those thousands of insects all over your skin. And I'm going to need each of you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
All right. All right, fantastic. Okay,
That's a 17. I'm proud of her.
13.
Okay. What do you do?
Which one of us is that to?
Well, let's see. I believe Sparrow, you both got a 4, right? Sparrow has the higher initiative modifier, so Sparrow can act first.
Okay.
Flies are
Well.
getting in your ears and your
Oh,
mouth.
God, no.
My bandana can't even save me.
Yeah, how do I?
Well, they're not getting in Sounder's mouth because of the bandana. You got to
Ugh.
shut your eyes, though.
Well, is it
Victorian
possible?
horror, come on.
I know. She's
Yeah.
so they're on me, right?
Yes, they're clinging to you,
Would
flapping around you. You can feel their wings brushing your skin.
Oh.
Look, you keep asking for more description. You're gonna get
Oh yeah,
it.
no. Would I be able to? Would activating like a spell like Arms of Hadar, which makes the shadow tentacles like burst
I know
out
what it
from
does.
me?
Yeah. Do you want to do that?
Would that? Yeah, I want to try to do that to see if I can get them
Okay.
off. That way,
All right, cast that spell.
I'm gonna do it. This whatever this is has to make a Strength save, DC 14.
All right. Ooh. Yeah, the cloud does not seem to be pushed away.
Okay.
So,
It does take some damage though, theoretically.
Can I use my
Theoretically.
reaction?
How?
Cast silvery barbs on it? Since it
Yeah,
succeeded
also-
on saving throw?
Hold on 1 second. Sparrow, you're gonna take a little bit of damage here.
Okay.
Sparrow, you take 4 necrotic damage, which is gonna be reduced.
Yeah, it's gonna. So I take 2 necrotic damage.
Right. Silvery barbs is what you said you wanted to try,
Mhm.
right, Sounder?
Yep. It is a reaction that I can take if a creature I see succeeds on an attack, an ability check, or a saving throw.
Okay. So this is sort of a protective thing, right? Or okay, when it succeeds on an attack roll, ability check, saving throw, you can make it try again. Well, basically give it disadvantage. That's how this works. Okay. This thing didn't make any attack rolls or saving throws, so not really. Like the trigger condition wouldn't go off.
Oh,
Unless you wanted.
I thought Sparrow's technique made it roll a.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. All right, yeah, you can do that, and I'll roll that saving
and
throw
you said
for it again.
you said they made the saving throw on mine.
They did, yeah.
Okay, so I
I'll roll that again.
would have dealt 9, but they would have taken reduced damage then.
Okay. And what was the DC on the saving throw?
On the one for mine,
Yeah, the DC it would have had to make
14.
14. Okay. Just rolling some dice here. Oh, okay. Yes. So, your warlock power explodes out of you in these writhing black tentacles.
Which I think this would be the first time Sounder's seeing that.
Yep.
So she'd
You're
she'd hiss something, and then they would kind of burst out.
You're basically channeling the power of an old god, a great old one, essentially.
Sort of.
I mean, that's what Hadar is.
Well,
and
yeah.
the
I mean,
flies and locusts and swarm, it kind of diminishes. Like
yeah.
insects just tumble to the floor dead, but the
Yeah, that's
darkness remains. The darkness that is holding them all together
okay.
remains.
And yeah, and this like obviously Hadar is not a thing in in Greymantle, but the way I mean I always I've been envisioning it like she's pulling on that shadow power thing that she's bound
Okay,
to.
it's fine. Different people think of it as different things, and that's totally fine. You can skin it that way as you like.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, some of the insects fall down dead to the floor. It's like it's raining insect corpses. But the darkness remains, and you're feeling it like it makes it hard to breathe, and you're gasping and choking. What else would you like to do?
I think then that I would like to try to move back toward the opening. Like just try to get away from this mass, this cloud, this
Okay.
thing.
Yep. You stagger over to the opening.
Yeah. Choking and gasping for breath.
Okay. So there's like a 30-foot drop down to the street, or you could dive into the bay, which is like 200 feet.
I mean, can I could probably use my I believe I use it as a cunning action to
Yes, we changed the mechanics slightly. It's limited to how many times per day you can use it, and it's basically a bonus action. So it basically uses your cunning action to do.
Oh, okay. So all right.
So yes, the issue is the thing seems to be soaking in all the shadows into itself.
Oh, okay.
Like it's gathering up the shadows, and there are no convenient shadows for you to dance into. Which is a strange feeling in Nightside.
Yeah, that's very very disconcerting.
So like maybe Sparrow feels vulnerable, isolated, revealed in some way that
So
she
for
isn't usually.
clarification's sake,
Hmm?
you're telling me there are no shadows to dance into, but it's not any lighter in here.
Yes.
That is trippy.
Mhm. It's like all the shadows are being sucked into the thing, leaving just gray.
Okay. That's a 30-foot drop to the
I did say that.
not jumping into the bay.
The rope is still attached.
The
to
rope
that
is still
pipe.
attached, but yeah, we'd have to unfurl it again.
You could grab the rope and just jump, and then
Yeah. You know what? I'll try. I'll try to do that.
behind you.
I will try to do that. I will
All right.
do the thing.
Make an acrobatics check, please.
Luckily, I'm good at that.
You are pretty good at that.
You also have advantage on it.
Well, I got a 21 on the first.
Okay. So you leap out,
Yeah.
the rope starts unfurling behind you,
Mm-hmm.
and you start swinging down toward the building, and you just run down the side of the building and then roll off onto the street. You leave the rope there
Okay.
against the side of the building.
Am I like out of the? Am I out of these things now, or are they still
Yes,
on me?
although you
Okay.
come up and you're like,
Yeah, like I'm like,
it feels like it's clinging to you like mud that you can't, that doesn't have any like palpable physical stuff. It's like a spiritual psychic mud. Anyway, Sounder, you're still stuck in that cloud of muck.
I am.
You do see Sparrow do that acrobatic insanity off the side of the building, though, leaving the rope unfurled.
Cool.
What would you like to do? Oh, you're gonna take some necrotic damages as well for
okay.
being in the cloud.
For being in the cloud.
Ooh, 9 points of necrotic damage.
Yikes! So, Sounder is going to upcast magic missile, because that's what you do.
Okay.
I'm casting it at 3rd level.
You're just gonna blast at the
I'm
cloud?
just gonna blast at this thing until
You're just
it,
gonna start blasting?
Yeah.
All right.
So that is 3. What is that? I get to do.
I believe
Oh,
the
God.
3rd level should be 6 bolts.
Da, 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 da. 3 and then 5. Cool. Should be 5, I think.
Oh, 5. Okay. Yeah, you're right. 5.
So, 3 again. 4. Another 4. And a 3.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
I'm
Yeah. You cast the spell, wheeling the missiles to strike the cloud.
Mhm.
You're in the cloud, so
I
the
am in the
missiles
cloud.
just like burst from your hands and explode very close to you, like they're going off at this. It's like you just let go of a firework in time, so that it didn't explode in your hands.
Yeah.
And you're kind of staggering around, startled by your own blasts of energy. More of those insects are tumbling to the floor, dead. And when you shake your head and clear it, you see that there's just this yawning cloud of blackness in front of you. Like there are a few insects just kind of buzzing around it, but mostly it's just this yawning void of death.
Yeah.
You have staggered out of the cloud, kind of toward where the rope is.
Yeah. I don't know if I need to disengage in this instance, because I don't know exactly how close I am to this thing. But I'm going to make use of one of my parkour casting traits to bonus action disengage and skedaddle down that rope.
Okay. Trusting to your gutter mage instincts.
Yeah.
Pull yourself the hell out of there and grab the rope. All right. The rope is not too difficult now that, it's unfurled and everything. I am going to need you to make an athletics check, though.
I'm going to do something doubly risky. I'm unhooking it from the pipe. I'm taking it with me. I do not want this thing to have my rope. The 30-foot fall is not great, but I can survive it.
All right.
In that case, I will need an acrobatics check, please.
I'm definitely going to need an acrobatics check.
It is a 10.
Okay. So you are going to fall and you are going to hurt yourself, but it could have been worse. Not easily. You take 10 points of bludgeoning damage. You skip off the wall and then smash into the street.
Yeah, Sparrow winces visibly at that. Like, oh.
You do have your rope, though.
I do have my rope and 1 hit point.
Right. And at that point, 2 Hellfire Enforcers come around the corner, having heard this nonsense going down. And I'm like, hey, you!
You do not want to go up there. Just gonna run.
Yeah.
Yeah, run. Just leaving. Just running now.
Okay. So we're gonna jump ahead a little bit. You managed to outdistance the enforcers, and it is about time for that midnight meeting. do you all go to the midnight meeting?
Sparrow will
Yes.
definitely, yeah.
You can
Oh,
have done a short
absolutely.
rest between that time and this time, so if you want to spend hit dice to heal yourself, you may.
I do.
I like how this
Yay.
party doesn't have a cleric or anything. You have a bard who can do
Hmm.
some cure wounds, but she's with the other half of the party.
And I absolutely cannot. I would have to learn that.
Yeah,
That
she'd
just
have
is
to learn
not.
that spell.
She'd have to learn that, and she's not interested in helping. That's not what she does.
All right.
No,
So
no.
you meet up at the square with the statue, the sorrowful angel. And the square is just called the Sorrowful Angel because that's where the statue is. And when you're looking at it, you can definitely see those little stubs where it used to have wings, and it looks extremely sad, which seems like a odd thing to say about a statue called the Sorrowful Angel, but you've never really given its expression much credence before. But now you can see the sadness in its eyes, like it doesn't have its wings anymore, and that's why it's sad, which seems strange because the statue originally had wings. Anyway, as you're standing there, Sounder's like really beat up and bruised.
Sparrow's
Uh,
fine.
I'm
Sparrow's
at 10
fine.
now.
Oris just looks at them like,
I'm
Yeah,
choosing not
found
to
it.
ask.
It's complicated.
Not going to ask.
Sounder did a swan dive off a building. It's no big deal. As you're standing there, you're kind of expecting someone to arrive, a carriage to arrive, perhaps, a litter, a divan, who knows? But instead, as the bell rings out for the middle of the night, that's the only time the bells normally ring in Nightside is to mark midnight, and they just ring one time. Just you see a tower appear in the square, like a thin spire that reaches up into the sky, made of dark gray black stone. And it has but a single set of doors, and those are marked with that symbol. The crown made of feathers.
Well, here's to be our cue.
I've lived here all of my life, and I have never even seen this. What? All right.
Well, I mean, not every day you meet with Narcon.
I'm gonna say like Oriana for her part is in like a nice outfit, like looks professional, looks good, you know, like
Yeah.
That's fair.
you know, usually when she's like with everybody, she kind of like dresses like the roguish rapscallion person, but like, you know, in a
Ready to
vaguely
go to
nice
work.
way. Like now at this point, she's kind of like, I'm not gonna say in like you know finery befitting her family, but like she looks nicer than she usually does.
Yeah, Anji's very dressed up too. Like, looks expensive.
So we have two in formal / business attire, one in, you know, nice fitted armor, and the other who looks like she rolled off of a building
Mm-hmm.
just
mean,
recently.
I'd say that there's a certain, you know, panache to Sparrow's
Yeah.
getup. It's definitely she's got that long black coat with the
Mhm.
with the hood. Very
Oh, it's
very
absolutely
very
stylish.
nice,
It's
yes.
just, you know, it's very clearly that I'm ready to get stabbed or do some stabbing.
And the
fair.
wizard goblin rolled off of the building.
Who's just sitting here tying a rope in knots.
Oh my.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. Well, shall we then?
Yep.
All right. When you open the doors to the spire, it seems to react to you specifically. And you think that this might have been the culmination of the magic of the seal. That the seal, like, marked you in some way, and that's why you could find the spire.
Okay.
Yeah, like this is a really one of those like by invitation only kinds of places.
Okay, the doors open, splitting that sigil into kind of like a cracked crown. And you find a spiral staircase leading upward through the spire. And sure enough, the interior of the spire is brilliantly lit, and is full of flowers and birds and singing. You can hear echoing off the walls. It's like this little bit of bright paradise all of a sudden.
I think Sparrow at this point has taken those red lensed sunglasses that she stole when they were in Dayside and has slipped them back on.
Yeah, it is a little jarring, especially for Sparrow.
Yeah. God's
Anji,
below.
you've been in places like this, but it's usually just very well lit stage performances.
I'm sure there are houses in Dayside that are this bright at some times.
Yes,
but yeah,
it's
like,
true.
It's not normal, but like not frightening.
You do notice that there are absolutely no shadows. Again, like everything is bright, everything is lit. You don't
like this in Dayside.
Yeah, you don't see any torches. You just see floating white flames, like continual flames that just float in the air.
Sparrow is clearly miserable at this point, but she also she looks like washed out in this place. Like she's just like, I hate this place. I hate this place. I hate this place. I hate this place.
Exceptionally pale,
Oriana,
underdeveloped photograph.
Yeah,
just very nonchalantly reach out and take her hand for a second and just kind of that like quiet gesture of strength.
Oh.
Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah, she does like she does visibly relax when that happens.
And I'm just like skirts above my ankles, like literally prancing up the stairs, like let's go. This is my kind of place.
Okay. So you're
right,
climbing
it's
up.
clean, it's magical, like making myself at home.
Mm-hmm.
So you're climbing up the spire, up the staircase, and you reach the top. It's got to be 100-foot spire, so this is quite a ways that you're climbing. You see birds of numerous rainbows of color just flying around, singing around you, and it feels surreal, dreamlike, right? And then when you get to the top, you find the staircase opens up into this open room. You can see out all across Nightside, which looks like a dark gray, pale imitation of the world compared to what you've just been walking through. There are pillars holding up a dome. In the middle of this chamber is a brazier that burns with white flames. And standing next to this brazier is this very tall, broad-shouldered woman. She's got to be at least 6'2", 6'3", maybe even taller than that, with this pair of snowy white feathered wings. And she turns to you. She has kind of short, fluffy white hair. Definitely played by Gwendolyn Christie.
Got it.
And she says, "Oh, yes. Thank you for coming at my invitation. I am Lilith, the Archon of Nightside, and I need your help." That is where we will leave it for episode 1.
You got Sounder feeling suddenly very underdressed, has, settled a rope, across her, back of her neck and just trying to smooth her shirt, but there's nothing you can do about
Sparrow
that. There
looks
was
wary
bugs
as
and
hell.
other things on it.
Yeah, Oriana
as in that I grew up in a nest of vipers vibe of like, yes, I am perfectly at home here. I understand.
All right.
Good.
I have been Eric Scott DeVee, the DM of this campaign. Thank you for coming with us on this season 3 of Greymantle. We are off with a punch, and it is going to get punchier from here. Take it away, Allie.
Well, yeah, thank you, everybody. I'm Alexander Pitchford, or Allie for short. I'm a writer, game designer, and TTRPG streamer, and you can generally find me here on Dungeon Scrawlers for this Greymantle and for Isekai Realms, and I think Path Arcana, if that's coming back.
One of these days.
One of these days. So, yeah. So thank you for joining us, and you can also find me on Twitter at LexiPhoenix, and that's about it for me.
Hi, I'm John. I played Oriana Devereaux tonight, the tiefling warlock and little mob princess. I go by Savage Sparrow on the internet. You can find me also primarily at savagesparrow.com, my super awesome website for nerdy apparel and accessories. We will be launching, or have launched, our newest Kickstarter for a mini collection inspired by Leshy and the power of nature.
Awesome.
It is so cute. I'm so excited about it, and there should be a link whenever this gets posted. Cause yeah, it's really good. There's so many little guys.
Aw.
Oh.
All the little guys.
Yeah, they're so precious.
Lex?
Sorry, I forgot I went next.
No worries.
Hi, I'm Lex. You can find me, if not here, over on Polished Cryptid's channel. And, tonight I played Sounder. Very much, out of her depth, despite her best efforts.
Fell off a building, did not die.
Did that, yes. Barely, but yes.
All right.
Oh, that's me. Hi. Yeah, I'm Amanda. I played Anji tonight. Someone who is very glad to know that someone else has now had to fall off a building, and it's not just me. You can find me online lots of places at Manda the Ginger, same username if I was chatting with you on Twitch while this aired. That's on Twitter, Blue Sky, and TikTok. I'm also thegingervillain.com and Facebook/thegingervillain. I've got books coming out November of 2023 and February of 2024. So if this airs between those two times, like, check out my website. Maybe get a pre-order in. Yeah, that is, I'm super excited that we're back, and I'm very ready to do the bidding of this big scary blonde lady.
I think we all are on some level.
Yeah, we like that. Eric knows us.
Yeah.
What?
I hate that you just keep giving us these
How dare you?
giant women.
Have I been
Yeah.
paying attention?
The daughters are full of simps.
If evil, why hot? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
I think this is probably where one of my partners would say, because you're all a bunch of effing bottoms.
Listen.
For yourself.
Call me out call Anji out on the internet like
Yeah.
that. I mean, come on.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And remember, stick to the shadows. The light is scarier.